Tony, welcome back.
Thank you.
How did it go in Australia?
It was great. Yeah, a really good trip. It probably exceeded expectations. Well, it definitely did. We expected a good trip, but it was a great trip in many respects, and we're very, very grateful for, particularly Brian Carney put together a really good program for us to go out and to follow. And but some of the experiences that we had, I couldn't have predicted to be as good, and it was fantastic, really professionally run, and the boys went about it with a great attitude, and did themselves proud. So delighted and really grateful for the opportunity to do it. I think the experience for these young people was almost a once in a lifetime. Although there's plans maybe to go back again, and that the benefits were that great that if we get a chance to go back, we'd go back. Would
you look at making it an annual visit?
I doubt if we could manage that. Although our very generous owner is looking at in a couple of years' time, 2 maybe 3 years' time. But it was very successful in many ways. We got a lot of exposure to within the media over there, which is part of it. It's about expanding the brand of Warrington Wolves, and we certainly achieved that in many ways. We had the media following us quite a bit, and it was a bit of a unique situation to be playing an NRL team, and that drew some attention as well. But it was also to prepare some of these people for a season, this season ahead, but many seasons ahead. I think was to expose them to some of the Australian attitude to sport, but health and fitness. When you're getting up early in the morning, which we were over there, and seeing just the general public out there running and training on all the parks and doing fitness sessions, and not involved in any sporting organisation, was a real eye opener for many of the young guys in our team. It makes them think about their own health and fitness, being professional sports people. But when the general public are out there in the droves that they are, I think those sort of things had an effect on our people, and it motivates them and inspires them, and we did many things that inspired them throughout the course of 3 weeks.
How did the intensity of the game compare to a pre-season friendly here?
Yeah, it was full on. It was a full on game. It was very intense. It was a pretty good game in terms of it was a good preparation for us. Because of the hot weather, we played in 4 quarters, and we shot out to a 24-0 lead, which isn't unusual for us to hit the ground running, and we did very well, and we executed exceptionally well against a good opposition. But then we had a break, and our opponents got a whole heap of the ball and put us under some pressure, which was good actually. I was a bit fearful that we might run away with a blown-out score, and that wouldn't have helped us in terms of preparation. And they had a lot of possession south for the next 2 quarters, really, and put us under the pump. And found us out in a couple of areas, which was good. We wanted to be found out in areas at this stage rather than get into the competition. So it was good. And then the boys, dug in together and come home with a hard-fought victory, and it was good. It was good opposition. It was, we had quite a few of our 4 of our major players out, and they had, not quite their strongest team by any means at the same time. But yeah, it was evenly matched for many parts of it. I made a lot of substitutions. I needed to give everybody a run and an opportunity to show their wares before the season started. So I probably was a little disjointed in terms of changes in personnel a bit more than I would have liked to in a friendly that had it been in this country. But because we only had the one, I had to change it around and give everybody a decent chance.
Now, you picked up a few bumps and bruises in the game, and you've had the freak injury to David Solomona in training. How is David?
Yeah, he's in good spirits. After a couple of days of taking it pretty hard, he was exceptional, and he's a real lesson for all of us about how to handle some adversity. And he's been terrific. He's really been contributing in a big way because of his injury. It's given him a chance to really either be upbeat or downbeat, and he's certainly upbeat, and it's really inspired our players as well. So a great lesson for us, for all of us. That, when times get tough personally, you can either go into your shell, or you can get on with things. And Dave's getting on with things. So that's been great. Aside from him, we've got Hodjo, who's should be right early March, so we almost most of this month. They're our two major ones. Other than that, Matty Blythe rolled his ankle in the game last week. Will miss this week, but he'll be available next week for London. And Joel Monaghan's just got a little bit of fluid on the knee from some tough training on hard fields over there. That's the other issue. Sometimes with the finer weather, it's the fields can be a bit tough, and he's just had a little bit of swelling there. So he probably won't make it for this weekend. But other than that, we're not far off full tilt.
Do you know how long Solomon is going to be out for?
5 months. So he's done late January, and so he'll probably be the end of June before he's back on the field.
A big loss to the squad.
Oh yeah. That's inevitable. I don't like it. I'm not saying blasé because I feel for Dave. He is a big performer for us, and he's great to watch. And yes, he will be missed to some degree. But within a team environment, somebody else steps up and fills that void, and they will. And it'll be like having a new player when he comes back, and he'll give us that extra bit when we need it.
Were you surprised by the numbers of Warrington fans who followed you down under?
Yes and no. Yes and no. I'm going to say yes, because it was great, just how many there were. But no, I'm not surprised either, because I know how passionate they are. One thing about the number that went over for it, but also the numbers that are already there, that live, expats. We met up with some terrific people who, made themselves known, come to training sessions that came from Warrington, and still follow us with that much passion from the other side of the world. And, it was terrific to see them. And, if we do it again, we hope we'd be able to, advertise a lot earlier when we're going to play our game, and the fact that we're going. If the RFL will let us know when our fixtures begin and all that a little earlier in the future. But if we get a chance, I know that there'd be many more that would plan a trip there and support us. So fingers crossed we get the opportunity to do it, and also let our fans know when we are going.
Looking ahead to the new season quickly, there's been a few new rule changes. What do you think of them? The interchanges going down to 10.
It's okay. I don't think it'll have a dramatic effect on us, at least. Not many weeks we'd use our 12 anyway, but it's only those odd few games where you get a number of injuries that can cause a little bit of mayhem, or but it shouldn't have too much effect on us. However, I wouldn't like to see it go any below the 10. I don't think that would enhance the game too much with the number of players that we have, and I think there will be an increase in injury regardless of the interchange. But if you went too many less players and got people to play with too much more fatigue, you'll get more injuries, and we just haven't got the number of players in this country to handle a reduction any further. So I hope they know what they're doing.
And the goal kicking changes?
Goal kicking changes? Oh, we've got a number of options nowadays with our goal kickers. We've got some quality goal kickers, and Hodjo's obviously one of the best in the game, but we've got quite a few other options that can step up for us there.
Do you think it helps being able to do a drop kick attempt at goal?
Only on those very rare occasions where the clock's running out. You've got to score points quickly, and it does give you the opportunity to rally and not put a whole lot of time into that 2 points if you need to score 2 or 3 times in a short period. And maybe you might get those 2 points, but it doesn't. It's not crucial to get those 2, but you need to score another 2 tries. Well, you might just opt to drop one. So it's not a huge change. It's not drastic on that account, and I don't think we're going to see that in effect too often.
And apart from the usual suspects challenging up at the top, who do you see as the dark horses this season?
Yeah, It's unpredictable at the moment. There's been a lot of coach changes, and I think that makes us all speculate as to how things are going to go in the next little while. It's hard to predict. The influence of new coaches at at various clubs, and coaches who have swapped clubs, and it's hard to predict. That's what makes this season a little bit more exciting, I think, in the unpredictability. Hopefully all of them have improved. I think most teams have recruited well, and hopefully with the coaches and changes of within the teams, it'll be more competitive. We're certainly hoping so. We'd like to still do well, but we certainly need the competition to be stronger right across the board for the sake of rugby league, and even for our own progression. I don't think it helped us at times last year having some games that were lesser in intensity than others, and we certainly want that intensity right throughout the season.
And do you feel your squad's better?
Yeah. We're progressing, and we're getting wiser and smarter, and fitter and stronger as well. And we've got some good young players coming through, and a bit more depth within even the youth coming through gives us some more depth. There's some young guys there that I have no hesitation of throwing in, and I'm sure they're going to get an opportunity at some stage this year. So, for that reason, I'm excited about the season. I think it's going to be another good one for Warrington, but also a real exciting season, I think, for everybody. And hopefully it won't be as we don't want to be participating in as many one-sided games. Certainly hope we have to have more competitive games and earn our points a lot harder. That would do us a whole lot of good. But I'm also not going to ask the team to play down to that either. I want them to play to the best of their ability, and hopefully the other teams within the competition. We know we're going to get some real tough games against some of the usuals, as you mentioned, but there's some other teams that hopefully they'll strengthen from last year.
And hopefully go one step further than last season and make the grand final.
Well, that's everybody's ambition, but we're not. We're very proud of what we did last year and the way that we went about it, and we're disappointed but this is a new year. You don't look back, and hopefully we just start again and build a season again. And if you get up into those sort of positions, well, it gives you a chance. We're not. I know a lot of people were disappointed, and we had some disappointment as well. But you can't take any of that for granted. Making grand finals, and there needs a lot of things to work out for you, and to be talking about grand finals even before ball's kicked at the start of the season, that's for you guys to do. We're concentrating on week one, and hopefully having a good start in week one. Last year we didn't have the best of our starts. We picked up a number of injuries week one, and also didn't perform that great. So week one for us, would be a nice visit to Hull and a good, hard game, and come through fit and healthy with a good performance. And if we happen to pick up 2 points on top of that, that'd be great.
Okay, Tony. Well, good luck for the season.
Thanks, Gary.
And I look forward to talking with you on a regular basis throughout it.
I'd like to say the same.